Hi, I'm Mike McCormick here at GBTA Studios live in Canada, and I'm here with Maurita Baker, who's the VP and Country Manager for Canada for Travelport. Thank you for joining us here today.
My pleasure.
So, just a little bit going on in the industry these days, everything from NDC to AI to, and the list goes on, right? Just when you think you've seen it all, the industry keeps changing again. From your perspective, what's the biggest impact you've seen lately, and why? What's driving all the change in your perspective?
I think what's really driving the change more than anything is the expectation of the traveler.
Right.
The traveler is digitally connected, always connected, and demands a frictionless experience right now. And I think that's probably the biggest driver of what we're seeing in technology with AI, Internet of Things, etc. From an NDC perspective, what we're seeing there is the need for airlines to become retailers, as we know. That's what the discussion is all about. And therefore, for travelers and the buying community to be able to have access to the broadest content, ancillaries, various rate packages, etc.
And with that comes, of course, a tremendous amount of data, and then companies that we hear all the time are really struggling with understanding, like, what do I do with it? How do I turn that into actionable data that I can, outcomes I can take and really help, accomplish the mission. Tell us, from your perspective, a bit about that.
Yeah, so there is so much data out there. It's unbelievable that the reality is only a small percentage of it is actually ever utilized or analyzed right now. Probably the biggest challenge is trying to normalize all of that data, aggregate it and normalize it. It's only going to be useful if it does drive insights. That is what's critical. So with the insights in Travelport, for example, we provide a lot of products and solutions that will provide insights to help the buying community. We've partnered with IBM on an artificial intelligence platform to help corporate buyers manage corporate travel spend.
Right. So, and I think, you start to see now, to me, where we're really starting to see the benefits of all that. We've been talking about it for so long, right? But now we're really here. It's really being put into action. We're seeing it in the travel experience. And so I know there's also a lot of talk about, the old end-to-end kind of solution, and I know, providers are really looking to find ways to be that end-to-end provider. Is that really something that can happen, or is it really about everyone playing their role in the distribution process?
I think not only can it happen, I think it has to happen. So I think we have to look at the whole traveler journey, the experience from the very commencement of planning right through to post-travel for reporting and travel expense, etc. Does that mean it's easy? Does that mean it's tomorrow? No, not necessarily. But I think travel brands really need to go beyond their core capability and look at what a traveler, which is a consumer, is really demanding, and that's really a frictionless experience that provides, of course, security, safety, very important as well. But to have that ease of booking and beyond booking, that ease of experience throughout their whole journey.
And certainly, again, now the tools are catching up, and the race is on, and for brands, really competing, right, in terms of that customer owning the customer and the role they play. That's the it's a big battleground with a lot of, let's say, non-traditional competitors now, right? It really changes the landscape.
You're absolutely right. There really is a lot of non-traditional competitors coming in, but they also friendly competitors where you can look at partnerships and how can I augment what I do with a core capability that somebody else does.
To optimize the travel experience.
Yes.
Very good. So we had our first Win It by GBTA session here this morning. Any advice you would give as a woman executive to those out there, people starting out in the industry? A little bit about, maybe from your own perspective, like what made you successful and get you to the point you're at today in your career.
So a piece of advice that I think I would definitely give, something that I live by, and I didn't even realize I lived by it until I read it. It's a quote that Richard Branson has. So I didn't have the wisdom to do this intentionally, but he said, if somebody offers you an amazing opportunity and you're not sure if you can do it, say yes and learn how to do it later. And that's what I have lived by, and I just think it's really quite phenomenal if you have the confidence and the belief in yourself that you really can achieve anything. And don't let any sort of self-perceptions about yourself limit you or be barriers. You know, we can do anything.
Right. Yeah, nobody's born to anything, right? It's a lot of hard work, but also, believing in yourself, ultimately, right?
Absolutely. Yes, it doesn't come without hard work.
No, absolutely. Well, thank you again, Maurita. Thank you for being here today in the studio with us.
My absolute pleasure.
And I'm Mike McCormick, live from GBTA Studios here in Toronto.